All right, we are back and ready for a new episode of QHAP. Yes.
I like that.
Yes. Am I the Kenzie now with Q and Tiffany?
Do you want to
I
be
think
the
you might be
Kenzie?
Bono. I think you
I'm
might be
the-
Bono.
Yes. All right, we just watched Hide and Seek, one of the classic episodes that CBS has rerun to get us ready for the big Survivor 50 coming up February 25th. And we are here with Tiffany Nicole Ervin and Q Burdette. Where's Charlie? He's hiding.
I don't know. I think
No, I
Charlie
don't think
skipped out
Charlie
on
came
this one.
out. He might still be in the bushes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this episode was really what a showcase it was because there was so much going on in this episode from everything. There was strategy, there was comedy, there was tension. This was a great episode of Survivor 46. And I've said in talking about all these different seasons, I love Survivor 46. I think it's my favorite season from the new era.
Come on, right? Now you're not just saying this because we're here, right?
No, I've said it
No, but
before. I've said it before, and I like because it's spicy. I
It's
like that.
fun.
I
It's
like that
chill.
yeah.
you all fight. I like that you all don't get along. It's not like, oh, we love each other. So there was big moves and there's tension. It's like, wait, who hates who? This is what I'm looking for from Survivor.
For some reason, y'all are froze on my screen, but I can hear you
Maybe
clearly.
it's
Okay.
your Wi-Fi. You're frozen on my screen too.
Ooh,
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
all
y'all
right.
frozen.
Cute, yeah, cute. We hear you fine. You seem like a little like slow motion, like a little 8-bit.
No, no, you're frozen on mine completely.
Mm-hmm.
Turn off the
Okay.
video games. Maybe you're using too much bandwidth.
Are you using too much bandwidth?
Let me see. Hang on.
Yeah. Tiffany, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for 50. I feel like my brain is starting to like recalibrate and get back into that survivor headspace because sometimes like you shut it off when it's time for real life.
Yeah.
Then when you start thinking about it again, it's like that level of excitement just consumes you. And
hmm
watching this episode, oh my God, like so many memories, so much trauma. I feel like that episode was like the beginning of the end, at least for me.
Yeah. Tiffany, yeah, this is like the six is still a thing at this point. And, Tim and Soda had just gotten voted out. And yeah, this is the point where the six starts to collapse. Um, remember the six?
Can I just say something
Oh, I
about this?
remember.
Yeah.
I just rewatching this episode, it really brought back the same feelings that I had when I was out there. The six was such like a loose concept. Like there was never even a point where all six of us spoke to each other and are on the same page. Like the six was an idea.
That was the beauty of it.
It never even was a
By design.
thing.
I
Like
wanted all the
this,
conversation to flow through
this
me.
six never was real. That's why I'm like, I remember
No.
distinctly at that point in
The
the game.
six would
Oh,
have worked if Tiffany didn't go back on it and try to get Maria voted out.
dude, the six
Ooh, hot take.
never real. In my head, I'm like, all right, yeah, cute, like whatever. The six to six. I don't give a crap about the six. In my head, at that point in the game, the only people who I had investment in keeping in the game were Q and Kenzie. Like I really didn't care about anything else. Even down to like the point where I was prepared to use my idol on all three of us because we were running the game at that point. We were all three in perfect position. We were dominating. We were steering votes. We were steering conversations. So, like, yeah, six, six, cool. But us three, like, that's my main priority. But Q had to drive the bus, even if it meant driving it over himself. So
hmm in the episode that I don't remember what it was, but you talk about how you had just eaten, and now
Oh, yeah.
Q has like is rejuvenated now after having a meal, and now he invents the Q skirt in this episode. He wants to play
Yeah.
hide and seek. So yeah, Q, what was that like getting some food in you?
It was just, Yanu was a hot mess to start. No fire, no plant, no food for the first almost 13 days in the game. Then we go and we win a challenge where I actually have food and I have energy to do stuff. And the truth is, like I've said this, you get those moments when I'm bored. If I'm bored on the beach, I'm about to think of something to do, and it involves me and everybody else. And hopefully it's fun, hopefully it's not. But for me, it's an opportunity to do something other than sit around. Because when you're on the beach, you can only talk strategy for so long. I can only talk to these people about where they're from and what they do, and do they have a business? Are you really a billionaire? I can only talk about that crap for so long. And then
Yeah,
it's time to, okay, let's kind of spice it up a little bit. Put a little Q flavor on it.
a little bit. Now, Tiffany, you said Q had been wanting to play hide and seek since the beginning of the game.
Yes. Literally,
Q,
he asked us so many times on Yanu, like, do you want to play hide and seek? You want to play hide and seek? And I feel like he was so over me and Kenzie because we're like, no, like, leave us alone. We want to go like lay on the beach and collect seashells. And we don't feel like running around. But we were also starving. So
Yeah.
that played into why I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'm not as drained. You want to play hide and seek? Fine, whatever. Like, let's do it.
you seemed a little bit like you liked it when it was happening, though.
I did like this much. Like, maybe this much I did like it.
Oh, come on. It was more than that. Hide and seek was fun. Like for you to go get in, for Tiffany to go get in some bushes.
Yeah, yeah,
Come
yeah.
on now.
Like, all right, all right, all right, you got that. Because I did get it. I'm a competitor. Because at the end of the day, even if it's just a game of hide and seek, I'm like, well, I still don't want to be no loser. I don't care if there's no reward. Like, I got into it. I did.
Yeah. Q, had you been sitting on hide and seek since the beginning of the game, that it was something that you wanted to
Yeah.
do to watch how
So,
people moved?
right. Well, I wanted to do it on Yanu so I could be it and have an opportunity to look for the idol while they hide.
Like, where
But
is
then after
Q?
I found out, Tiffany found out, I was like, well, crap. There's no need to play hide and seek on this beach anymore. We don't win. And I sat on it to a perfect day when it's 10 of us. We're doing nothing else. Let's play. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Because at that point, we didn't know Hunter had already found their idol on their beach.
We
Now,
actually found out the next day, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. We didn't
Yeah,
know Hunter had it
yeah.
that day.
looking back and now how the season played out, were you right with anybody in terms of like what you discovered in hide and seek in terms of how they played the game?
Oh, almost spot on with like Ben being undercover and coming out at night. Kenzie being, the social butterfly, but
Hmm.
sneaky, can win, can play the game. And so it was a bunch of that. But Hunter, like that day, you got to remember, there was a day before we did the pole challenge. And the reason I volunteered to sit out of that challenge is because I just watched this guy climb up in a tree and stay up. That game had to go on for at
Yeah.
least 45 minutes to an hour. And he was in the tree the whole time. So I'm thinking to myself, he's going to hold on this pole way longer than me. Why would I try to compete? So I was trying to get other people to see that as well. But that revealed that Hunter can hang on a pole for a long time for me. So it was fun, but it also revealed some things for me. Like Liz, like that's when I started to realize like Liz, she wanna play as much as she sits around and do nothing. She's actually engaged a little bit. And that was the first time, and then here we go with the Applebee's thing coming up soon.
They should have shown that episode too.
Oh my
Now
God.
that would have been crazy because Tiffany and I were still arguing, and we went to a reward together, and they could have picked a lot of episodes from 46. I can't say that about a lot of seasons in the new era. They have one or two great moments, great episodes, but 46, I feel like from the start all the way to the end, you can go and just pick one.
I don't
Yeah.
know about from the
Here you
start.
go.
I think there was a couple episodes where
Which one?
maybe it was going on with Banu for a little long.
Well, Banu, but even
TV. What you
I'm gonna
mean?
say, but even with
Primetime
Banu whining
TV.
and
what about when
crying, you still
Randon got medevaced?
That's primetime television. That's scandal. People
yeah,
want drama. It gets the people
yes.
going.
Yeah, no, it does get really good. It's a very, very fun second half of the season, and with everybody going out with the idols, like there's so much good stuff. Also, that you invented the Q skirt in this episode.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something about the Q skirt.
I
Yeah,
was
When I was
so
out
over
there,
it. I was
the
so over
Q
it.
skirt in my mind was the next big game because it's all I have. I don't have anybody else other than my castmates telling me it's good. They ain't telling me it's bad. They should have maybe, but they
Yeah.
didn't. So now I'm gaslighting. I'm Q skirting it up. I'm wearing it to tribal. But the Q skirt came in handy because it was so wrapped up in the Q skirt. I could hide stuff in it. I mean, I would play it, but I hid my idol in it well. So the Q skirt was
Functional.
just my way again of being bored, having fun. But hey, let's put some fashion on it,
Oh
man.
my God, please.
Did you ever get Tiffany a Q skirt?
No, I was not on board with the Q skirts. I think I was the one person that he never sold on a Q skirt. I was not doing it.
Why? What's
Yeah,
wrong with the
because
Q skirt?
really, the Q skirt is really for guys. So I was trying to sell the guys on it because the guys are the ones who carry the fanny packs and they have to
Yeah.
carry the extra blanket in the bag. And if the guys are wearing it, come on now.
Yeah, because women have a
Eventually, the
purse a
girls
lot
will
of
get on board.
times. We don't have enough places to put stuff.
There we go.
No, I
So
was.
my target audience, as you can see, I went to Charlie and tried to sell him a Q skirt. I
Yeah.
would talk to Tevin, talk to Hunter. But I knew eventually Tiffany and all of them would come around and wear the Q skirt. But then tribal happened and it all went to hell. That's when
Yes.
I lost Tiffany as a Q skirt participant.
Yeah.
Right then and
Okay.
there.
Well, Tiffany, of course, this is a very famous tribal council where everything seems like, okay, this is going pretty normal. And then Q says, hey, I want everybody to vote me out at this tribal council.
I was so confused. I was so confused because at that point, right, I was still locked in with Q. Like I was still loyal to the point where I was not willing to write his name down under any circumstances. And I had no idea all these conversations were going on about trying to get me out because I didn't view Venus as a threat. I'm like, first of all, this imaginary six that they never spoke to each other one time. You think I care about Maria? Me and her haven't even talked about being in the alliance together. I care about me, you, and Kenzie. And we're running this game and we have an idol. So then when Q starts talking about something, I made a mistake, send me home. I'm like, bro, you are my number one. What is happening? I can't afford for you to go home. So I was confused. And then when I realized that he told people about my idol, I'm like, what is going on here? What is happening? It was like whiplash.
And for the record, I never told Charlie. And I told you this.
I saw it. No, but you didn't lie. He said, I never told Charlie. I don't know how he found out. At that point, I didn't believe nothing. So I'm like, you're a liar. You told Maria. Maria told Charlie.
That's right. Yeah.
But at that point, I was confused because I didn't want Q to go home. When he started talking that,
Yeah.
like, Q, please, what are you talking about? Like, we are literally in the perfect spot right now. We're in the middle. We have an idol. Why do you want to leave?
But Q, that's pretty impressive that you say you want to go home. And normally people like somebody says, I want to go home. Everybody's like, okay, bet, go, get out of here. You said, hey, vote me out. And they still didn't do it.
I don't think I got one vote that time.
You want to know something funny? I always tell people that season 46 was like the Backstab Olympics. It was like Battle of the Egos. Because at that point, and you saw in the episode, Tevin, Venus, Liz, everybody's fighting for the move. So at that point, Q trying to self-eliminate, I think it was less about like people being like, I can't afford to lose Q, except for me. I really was thinking that. But everybody else is like, well, this isn't my move. I want my move to go through. I want to be the guy. I want to be the blind side. Everybody was fighting over who would get to be the backstabber. And it's like, y'all, please, what's the bigger picture?
Yeah. I mean, that whole Nami tribe with the who was going to get credit for Soda going out, and then Venus wanted the credit, and Tevin was laughing at her that Venus thought she got the credit, and then Liz was mad that Tevin was taking the credit, and that was her idea. That they should talk about that tribe was the disaster tribe.
No, that tribe was crazy.
That trio right there fighting for position to be the biggest backstabber. I truly believe in my heart that was the reason why nobody was focused on Q, because they're like, Q, get out of the way. We have our own plans. Everybody was like, I want my plan to be the plan that happens tonight. And that's really what ended up happening.
Mm-hmm. But, I look back on it and I say, that's the one thing that we should have never let happen. We should have never allowed Liz to come to us with a plan and a move, and we just jump on it. What?
Well,
what are we doing?
the one thing that should have never happened was that you should have never backstabbed me, because we could have sent Liz home, we could have sent Devin home, we could
You're
have
right. We could have
home.
sent them all home, Tip. But look, this was my thing. We was so good in the middle. Nobody was looking at us until you start to throw out a name. Now they're like, "Oh, Tiff said this.
Okay,
Tiff
nope,
said
nope.
this."
Let
So
me
now
stop.
it's like,
The
damn,
only person who I said Maria's name to was
Tevin.
you.
No, Tevin.
No,
You said it to
no,
Tevin.
no, no, no. I only said to Tevin, why are we getting rid of Venus? Nobody is taking her serious. I said, let's see how the immunity challenge plays out. I never mentioned Maria's name to anybody but you, because you were the only one who I trusted. And then you told Maria. I'm like, bro, what the heck?
Yeah, but I had an image of hell, man. I had rules and regulations.
Get the cute.
Golly. But look, hey, I always say this, and I've told you this personally. I made a big mistake.
Yeah, you did. Stupid.
I did. I should have never turned. But here's the thing. If I never turn and I would never do that, we had the perfect opportunity, really, after that happened.
Yeah, I know.
To have everybody thinking we're at odds, getting all the information, and then we're making, but we just couldn't get to
We
that.
just couldn't, because I was mad.
And Q took you to that reward. He took you to Applebee's with Kenzie.
I took her trying to amend things and make it right.
Yeah. But at that point, the train already left the station, because then Kenzie started talking about trying to get me out. And everybody's like, well, Tiffany's name already got mentioned. She still got an idol. Like, at that point, once the cat was out of the bag, it was no putting it back in.
Yeah. In this episode also, that there was some talk about how the two of you look at the game. And Q, you said that Tiffany, she wants to play the GOAT game. She wants to take the worst person to the end of the game so she can beat them. That's not how you view the game. You said you're a game changer. You're going to change the way that people play Survivor. Do you think that that did have an impact in the way that people play the game since Survivor 46?
Well, I think it's changed in a way that they recognize a player like me who's going to create some chaos and say, you know what, we don't want this fella much longer. But I also think now people are starting to ask, because that was the first time y'all heard me say it, but I was saying it all along. Like, I want to take competition to the end because it gives us a better shot at, if we do win, actually, you know what I mean? Because I don't like watching it with somebody getting 3 votes, 4 votes, 0 votes. I want to battle. And I want to battle with folks who I think is worthy. So that was my thing, but I wasn't afraid to sit next to anybody. Me personally. And that's why I was thinking like that. Now, looking back on it, again, there were moves that were made that shouldn't have been made at the time it was made. But I also say, if those moves aren't made, are we here right now talking?
Yeah. I mean, listen, season 46 is an iconic season. The only qualm I have with it is that I didn't win. Going back and watching it, thoroughly entertaining. Time of my life. I would do it again if I could.
Tiffany, do you agree with how Q looked at your game, that you were trying to go to the end with people that were very easy to beat?
Yeah, I think he had a good read on it, but also only to a certain extent though, right? Because it was so early in the game to be trying to shake things up like that. I'm like, right now, there's no need to be trying to get rid of people that are not making a difference in the game. Right now, we just started the individual immunity portions. Why not just get out people that are not only a threat to us winning, but intelligent enough to realize the rules that the Yanu 3 is running on this whole tribe? Like, that was my thing. I didn't want the jig to be up for me, Q, and Kenzie, because we had our roots so deep. We were like kind of the middle. Siga and Nami were both fighting to pull us towards them. I'm like, all right, I'm more focused on getting rid of the people that might see through that early, give us a little longevity before we actually start having to pull the trigger.
I think one of the interesting votes that doesn't get as much attention because it was more focused on the soda side of things was the vote to take Tim out. And I always felt like that was surprising that Tim is the person who went home.
I hated that vote so bad.
Well, so for me, Tim, it would have been Ben, but Tim was pushing Hunter so hard. Like he could not just get off of, yo, okay, either I can save myself or I can save Ben. Because Hunter's not going anywhere right now. He couldn't flip that switch to get off of it. And then, but see, the thing is, that morning before the challenge, I told Hunter, Tevin, and some other folks, I said, look, I don't know what the challenge is, but Tim has to go tonight because he's trying to play with the six. He's trying to play with the Seagull members. I don't even trust this guy. So in that challenge, when I jumped off, my thing was I jumped off on Tim's side on purpose to try to make him fall as well. But I didn't know we was going to be split up in 6 and 6. I did not know that going into that challenge. But I knew if he didn't win, I wanted to make sure he went home. And it was good that it happened. But in that episode before, me and fighting because at one moment it seemed like I was saying, okay, Ben. Okay, one moment I was saying Tim. But what had happened was Tiffany had said, we was at the water well. You and Kenzie had just got the flowers or something, and you was like, "Q, like all the moves can't be yours." I was like, "Ben, don't have the idol." He was like, "We don't know that." I said, "You want to go Ben then?" He was like, "Yeah, I want to go Ben." I was like, "All right, let's go Ben then." Then he was like, "But," I was like, "Damn, let's go Tim then." Like I was trying to,
Yeah, I didn't want to get rid of Tim at that point, but me and Q, we definitely had friction because, like Q said, like it kept flip flopping and flip flopping. I'm like, I want Ben, like let's get Ben out. But I do agree that like Tim was very stuck on Hunter, and me, Q, and Kenzie also did know that we didn't want to get Hunter. So I was trying to like tell him without telling them like it gotta be Ben, like you're gonna have to turn on your boy, but I couldn't say that. But at the end of the day, again, this 6, I can't really fault Tim for trying to go for Hunter because, again, we did not talk. It was just something that was decided. I'm like, we never came together and solidified anything. So, of course, Tim is not weighing this very heavily. But I also could not flip on Q and Kenzie because these are people I've been working with since day one. So I'm like, if my 2 strongest allies in this game think that it has to be Tim, then I'll acquiesce because I don't want to cause friction with them so early in the merge. Like, I'm like, we got to be in accord because when we go back to camp, Yanu 3 still got to be in lockstep. So I was like, fine, Tim. But I didn't really want Tim to go home.
Tiffany, can you give us people who just watch the show perspective? What's it like to play with Q?
You know what? It's very, I mean, people call him chaotic, chaos Q for a reason. It's chaotic because you just really don't know what you're going to get. And I'm not going to say it's not enjoyable because I really did enjoy playing with Q. Like I said, Q was one of my closest friends in the game and my closest ally up until, he decided to blow it up. But really, you just never know what you're going to get. It's chaotic, but it's fun, very frustrating. Not for the faint of heart.
and so I'll add something to it. I think a lot of it is they now know. I think now know. Like I can only be convinced to do what I want to do. Like if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. Period. And I will fight it. So now I think they have to understand if you figure out what I want to do and you convince me to do that, that's perfect. But then the chaos starts to come. It's like, okay, if I trust Tiffany and then I hear something that I shouldn't be hearing from Tiffany, I switch on a dime. But I'm the same way in real life. Like, for instance, I hire somebody and they're doing awesome and they're doing great, and we have rules and we say, hey, just don't do X. The second they do X, it's no second chance. Bye bye. So
Big mistake.
I think big mistake. But I think I went too overboard in the game with being able to react so quickly. I have to be able to step back, okay, think it through logically. Don't just, maybe just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't learn that on 46. But here's the thing: when you play for the first time, you don't learn stuff like that. I don't think because you're in the moment. and you don't know what's next, and you're not watching it back now to say, well, dang, I should have done X. So it's fun, but it's one of those things where if I could go back and change one thing about my gameplay is I would show more of the thinking side of it because I used to stay up all night. I used to tend to the fire. I used to burn all the firewood on purpose. That way they can just go out and have to find more the next day. But I was always thinking like, damn, how can I get this? How can I do that? What's how? And then when something kind of roadblocks it from happening, I go crazy.
Yeah. I think that was like one of the biggest friction points with me and Q. And this is just like our personalities. We're so different, but we're so similar. We're both very bullheaded. But I think the fundamental difference between Q and I is that Q wants to go from A to B to C to get to D. And I'm like, it could be BCA, it could be BAC. We're still going to get to D. There's more than one way to get to it. But Q was like, no. Is one way and it's a fixed way. And if it's not that way, then there's no alphabet at all. And I'm like,
and see where I do a poor job at is talking to my ally and saying, listen, I see it this way because I've thought about it all night.
Yeah.
Day and a half of it going A, B, C to get to D. I haven't thought all the risk and the returns of skipping A to go to C and come back to A. And what if I don't get to come back to A?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So, but it's so fun. This episode right here, it shows a lot. It shows, the game of all the highs of the highs of the smiles and the energy then it shows, hey, send me home, lowest of the lows.
Yeah. Okay. Charlie is also going to be in season 50 with you two. What's one thing about Charlie that you two picked up on in this episode?
For me,
well, you could go first.
No, you go first, Tiff.
Okay.
This is my growth.
This was the episode. This was the episode that made me, that made my radar go off for Charlie, and it kind of actually established like a bit of a working relationship with me and Charlie, even though it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Charlie's the one who told me that Q told everybody about the idol, and I'm like, oh, Charlie's playing. Charlie is not afraid to play both sides, and Charlie's not afraid to blow something up. So that was what kind of opened my eyes to the fact that Charlie was doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff that made me feel like he was a lot more of a threat that I need to pay attention to than before. Because I wasn't really checking for Charlie before this episode, but when he told me about the Q thing, I'm like, oh, all right. This guy is playing a much different game than I thought he was.
Yeah. And after on the island, what I picked up on Charlie was the way he reacted when he was not safe. So Charlie was a different Charlie when he had the immunity necklace and he was safe. He would go up and he would give his input more.
Mm-hmm.
When he wasn't, oh man, he was quiet as a church mouse.
Quiet.
He was, yes, okay, good, perfect. And I think what it showed in this episode was he have the ability to strike when he feel like it's right. Like dropping, Q told me you had the idol, although I didn't tell him. He knew that would cause friction in Tiffany and I and the Yanu 3 to where now he can bust it wide open. He can now utilize pieces the way he see fit. And he was playing the middle so well to where, when he's talking to me, I believe, hey, I'm in full control of this guy. He go to somebody else, they feel like they're in full control of this guy. But he's the one that's making that decision at the end of the day to say, okay, which side do I really want to be in control of me at this point in time? And here we go. And, you fast forward 3 votes. That's why one of the reasons why I did not play my idol was because I'm thinking like, they have to see that Charlie is a much bigger threat than me right now. And I'm hoping they think the jury hates me because at that point in time, everybody else that went out the game went out writing my name. So it's like, okay, they must hate this guy and love Charlie. Let's try to get Charlie. But I didn't calculate Liz having it out for me still after the Applebee's.
I don't know why you didn't calculate that.
Who would have thought, We are only a couple of weeks away from Survivor 50, and so we're so excited. I will share with both of you, I was in a draft that we did back in June, and I'll say that both of you are on my draft team that I drafted for Survivor 50. We did it right after everybody left.
Yep.
And both of you, I said, I have three, I don't remember who the third person is on my team, but I know Tiffany and Q are two of my three people that I drafted.
There we go. You know how to draft them. You know how to pick them.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'll say to you the same thing I say to everybody when they draft me. I hope I don't disappoint. And that's all. I hope I make you proud.
Yes. Well, you were my pick also in Survivor 46 also. So it would be doubly let me down if it doesn't work out in 50. And I feel like people are sleep on Q. I feel like that they underestimate him. And so I'm very much looking forward to seeing.
I feel like people not over, that's not
Tiffany.
But not in that way. I feel like people are afraid of him. I feel like people like Q lives rent free in people's heads. I don't know. Underestimate, please. I think people are obsessed with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. February 25th. Anything else either of you want to let people know?
I do, but it's not about Survivor 50. I just wanted to say to you that I really enjoyed watching you on The Traitors, and I was so mad when they sent you home. I was like, oh no.
You were mad. No. I thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I just want to say something to the folks because I know today we're about 6 days away from Survivor 50.
Yes.
And you've watched about 8 episodes of the past. Tell me what you think about them 8 episodes. Now tell me what you think about episode 8 of season 46. I think it's much better than those, right? So if you think the way that I think, if you think the way that I think, you should tune in to season 50 to see 2 of the best from 46 to do our thing.
Okay.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
There you have it.
So much fun.
You heard it from Q. Thank you both so much. I think you're always both so fun to talk to and can't wait to see what happens on season 50.
100%.
All
right. Take care. Bye. Thanks for checking out today's podcast, talking about these classic episodes of Survivor. If you love hearing stories like this from the classic survivors about all of the greatest moments in Survivor history, you're going to love this book. The Tribe and I Have Spoken. We captured 25 years of Survivor lore and all the best moments and all the players that you love to hear about and all of my fond memories of their experiences right here all in one book. You can check it out at robhasabook.com. Thanks for listening. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.